I actually got to meet Ingrid Chavez at Celebration 2019, and when I ran into her, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna review your album," and she said, "Cool." Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Prince's Friend YT on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. This week we are back with another review. As I said before, I was wanting to get through some of my non-Prince reviews before we jump into Crystal Ball, and I've been having a ball doing them, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the content that is coming out in June. So let's go ahead and start talking about Ingrid Chavez's new album, Memories of Flying. It was released on May 17th, 2019, though it did have some singles that were released before then. And honestly, I've been listening to this album over and over again since it was released. It's not only a great album to intently listen to, but it's really great for just having on in the background while you're writing. Well, I guess I should say while I'm writing, because I'm a writer. And I've done one review for Ingrid in the past. It was during Graffiti Bridge Week when we were around that era of Prince albums. And I decided to do her first album, her first collaboration with Prince, which was May 19th, 1992, which was a really wonderful album. You should go check out that review I did for it. And she's come out with other music since, but I haven't really gotten around to getting to her review. But why not when she's got a brand new album out? That just makes sense. So Ingrid is an amazing poet and songwriter and singer, and I think that shows just as much on Memories of Flying as it has in her entire career. Her voice and her personal swagger, I guess, if that's the way you want to say it, I just think that it works overall really well for her, like, overall aesthetic. She comes across as a true poet and artist in everything that she does. The album does have a singular kind of tone to it, and in the past I've said that that's a bad thing, but really in this case, it's a really good thing. Because even though it doesn't veer off and explore a bunch of different things, each song remains unique and distinct in this tapestry that's being laid out before us. Ingrid knows how to evoke a certain feeling and a tone. She's really good at that. So before we jump into the songs, don't forget to hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend releases a brand new video. Also check us out on our Patreon, patreon.com/princessfriend, and go to princessfriend.com for Prince news and other resources, such as our event calendar. All right, let's get started listening to this amazing album.
Memories of flying, now you're just running, afraid to commit, afraid to be loved, weighted and sinking in the deep sea of you. You're a beautiful, beautiful mess.
So when you hit play, you hear the sounds of birds chirping, and it feels like it's a brand new day. It feels like you can take over the world, honestly. And this is a really good intro track. It's got a really sweet flute on it that kind of propels the track. Ingrid comes in and weaves a really amazing poem about waking up to old dreams and remembering what it meant to follow them. And it's a really, really sweet song.
You deserve all of the love in the world, all of the love in the world. You deserve.
The next track is like a low-key pop track, and it's about realizing you're worthy of being loved. It's a song about self-esteem, and you know what? Sometimes people just need to hear that they are worthy and that they deserve love. They deserve good things. Of course, my brain knows the All the Love in the World, which is a song by 9 Inch Nails, and it keeps wanting to compare the two, but they're very, very different songs. Whereas Trent Reznor was writing about why do you get everything, Ingrid Chavez is saying, you deserve everything. So very, very different feels, and I like the track.
I say the devil stole my soul, and I don't want it back. He's on my lips, he's in my head. If I drink enough Henny, he'll wake up in my bed. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay with Snowblind.
You know what? Strangely, I think Snowblind is probably one of the standouts on this album. It begins with the sound of like feet trekking through snow, and it's got kind of like this deep bluesy feel, which I really dig for an electronic track, which it's weird how that comes off. And it's pretty interesting because from the lyrics I get that it's about kind of letting go and saying like, hey, if I just throw myself into things, some bad stuff might happen, but some good stuff might happen too. But I'm basically just going to close my eyes and go in and see what happens. And I kind of dig that. I think it's got just the right amount of energy for the song.
You gave me wings to fly. I gave you songs to sing.
So this was one of the songs that was released as a single. You Gave Me Wings was presented as a tribute to Prince. And listening to the lyrics in the chorus, yeah, I think it's a fitting tribute and probably one of the best of the tribute songs that have come out since Prince left our plane. I really like how the song kind of starts off light and kind of grows and gets bigger and bigger until the chorus comes in and you have that cool like kind of piano-ish keyboard come in, and it really kind of sets the tone. Really, really well executed musically. It also reminds me of something that Ingrid said when we were at Celebrations during one of the panels, where she said like when she wrote Justify My Love, she made a deal that she wasn't going to go out and say that she wrote the song or whatever, and that Prince heard the song on the radio and immediately called her and said, hey, I know that that's you. And she's like, how did you know? And he's just like, because I know you, and you need to go and make sure that you get credit for that. And she was like, oh, okay, I will. And I dig that because giving you wings doesn't mean that you're going to fly for the person. Giving somebody wings means you're just pushing them to their greatness. And Prince was that for Ingrid, so I really, really dug this song as a tribute to him.
Makes me wanna give you the world. It makes me wanna give you my words. That's just how you make me feel.
Light Rays is love to me. It sounds like you took the concept of love and you put it into actually words of the feeling that you get when you look in someone's eyes and you get that kind of electric feeling out of it. The harmonizing of Ingrid and the male voice that comes on the track as well, I think really does a good job of letting us know as well, the listener, that it's mutual. It's a mutual love. It's not like I love you and then that's it. It's like we're feeling this together. The music is pretty simple, but I think it does a really good job. It's effective at contributing to the tone of the song. Really, really good.
Into the blue, into the blue, into the blue, into the blue. There's a beauty waiting there for you. Into the blue.
I think this song is one of those that's really reminiscent of her old track. It is her speaking her poem over an interesting beat for the majority of the song, but then she kind of comes in as this soft songstress during the chorus. But I think the two pieces of the song really come together, they mesh well and create one really pretty good track. I feel like everything else in the song mostly just melts away as soon as you start hearing Ingrid's poem and her words and her voice, and I think that that was what was intended. You're supposed to listen to this song and kind of just sink away.
It's the last day of October, so look outside you, look outside. The leaves are golden.
So there's a lyric in this song, Golden Its Way. It says, it's the last day of October, and I found it really interesting when I was doing my research on the album that this was released as a single on October 31st, 2018. So a cute little piece of trivia there. I do like the track. It feels to me like it's saying like there's a lot of hurt you must be going through, but you need to realize that there is a lot of love and beautiful things in the world that is out there for you. And I really, really like that. I like that sentiment. I just dig it in general. So really, really good job. I think that this song is amazing. It's really sweet.
I like the mystery, 'cause now I wonder you. I like to think that wherever you are, you wonder me too.
Of course, Prince had a song called I Wonder You with just the letter U. So going into this song, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's similar or if there's going to be any connection. And honestly, listening to the lyrics, it feels like this is another song which might also be a tribute to Prince. And if it is, I have no confirmation that it is, but if it is, it's actually really nice, and I think it gives a good kind of view into what their relationship must have been like. A lot of push and pull, a lot of we should be together, but then it's actually bad when we are, but then it's also sometimes good when we are. Like, there's a lot of that kind of around in this track, but I really dig it because you can kind of feel the complexity of this relationship in the song. However, I do feel like this might be the only track on the album that the lyrics and the music don't necessarily sync up exactly right in my brain. It could just be the way that I'm listening to it and the way that my ears are hearing it, but it's definitely a really good track. I really like it.
Alive at night, forgot by day. I've no maps, no plans, no sleight of hand. Just blind faith that something will give soon, and the clouds will part.
The music for Calling Out the Thunder is pretty haunting, and I love the feel and the tone that it gives. Ingrid recites a really nice poem about change coming, but realizing that you're the one that has to make that happen. Man, if I ever become a singer, I want Ingrid Chavez to write me a song, because she is so good at what she does. Musically, the song stutters itself and kind of repeats itself a couple of times in interesting ways, kind of making it feel purposefully disjointed, but in like a really cool way. And again, kind of in a haunting way, when you're done listening to the song, it doesn't necessarily leave you. I like that a lot.
I'm not perfect, but I'm worth it. I've been broken, but I'm still open. Tomorrow, it's a new day.
So it's interesting because Calling Out the Thunder felt like it was kind of a prelude, like it was leading up to some bigger thing that was coming. But really, it kind of led into this song, Let the Healing Begin, which was just as kind of soft and melancholy, not necessarily the big crescendo that it felt like it was driving towards. But I like it though, because it does kind of continue the same themes of Calling Out the Thunder, but instead of it being more of an introspective kind of feel, instead it's saying we can all heal now together, which is a really cool sentiment and one that I think a lot of us in the Prince community need to hear.
Like I was driving to the end of a dream, and it was good, yeah, it was good.
And the final track is a really good one. Driving to the End of the Dream starts off really soft and then kind of builds to the realization that this was a really fun romp through this album, through this dream, through this memory of flying, through life. Really, really great way to end the album. I was expecting something much bigger, but what we got was really cool in its own way. So my final thoughts are pretty simple. I came into this album expecting a soft, atmospheric selection of amazing poetry, sung or spoken by Ingrid Chavez, who has one of the most amazing voices in general. I could listen to her for hours just speak. And honestly, that's just what I got. And that's not a slam. That's not me trying to say, oh, the album was predictable. On the contrary, there were a few more kind of pop riffs and feels to this album than I was expecting. And I loved that there there were a few songs that were tributes to Prince, who obviously is one of my favorite musicians ever, and likely one of her favorites. But to me, those were bonuses. I came into this knowing what I wanted out of an Ingrid Chavez album, and she delivered. It was a really, really good album. I'd give it 4 out of 5 stars easily. What did you guys think of Ingrid Chavez's Memories of Flying? Let me know down in the comments. What was your favorite song? What did you think of the Prince tributes? Let's discuss. Otherwise, don't forget to check us out on social media at PrincessFriendYT. Check out the Patreon at patreon.com/princessfriend, where you can support the channel for as little as $2 a month. And all the support that we get from our patrons is amazingly helpful. It really keeps the channel going. And as always, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all.